During this holiday season, give your loved ones a gift that keeps on giving for the rest of their life. Torpedopod is the only affordable self-growing flower pot that ensures your future food survival. All you do is add soil, seeds, and seedlings to the flower pot and watch your plants grow. Torpedopod can grow nutritious food in such abundance and variety that you can produce more food than your local farm. Visit www.torpedopod.com.
So in Wyoming, they actually have their first black sheriff in the state. And I know in 2022, Wyoming got their first black sheriff. Isn't that crazy? Let you know how racist this country is. Now, the brother's name is Aaron Applehans, and he was called for an internal review of deputies within the department. Now, the probe determined and discovered in 2 months that one of the white deputies in the department used his power and rank to negatively impact a black colleague, causing him to resign from the force. Are we shocked by that? No. It's also found that many people consider the deputy in question to be a well-known white supremacist. Now, according to the news, Albany County Patrol Sergeant Christian Hanley, a white man, has been harassing Corporal Demeaned Johnson, a black man, for years. Johnson is now using the investigation conducted by the Office of Sheriff Applehans as the foundation of his new federal lawsuit against Hanley. Now, it claims Hanley relentlessly demeaned Mr. Johnson with racial slurs and innuendos, even once in front of Mr. Johnson's wife and children. Boy, that's crazy. How did he put up with that? I mean, because I'm sorry, forget a job. You know what I'm saying? Like I have my limits on that. Now, Hanley would later apologize, stating that he did not know the family was there. Now, filed Tuesday, January 18th, in the U.S. District Court in Cheyenne, Wyoming. It said a lawsuit reveals that the torment was so vicious it led to Johnson, after a decade of service, to quit in 2017. It read that Hanley exhibited degrees of racism, bigotry, and discrimination in the workplace that almost defies belief. Johnson is seeking compensation for the years he was abused by Hanley on and off the job, and is open to trial by jury. So Hanley started demonstrating overt and abhorrent racism when the two were deputies from 2011 to 2014, and Johnson was the only black officer in the department, the filing alleged. An example was when he told Johnson that sex with a black woman would be degrading. Now, you divestors out there, this is what they really think about you. Just letting you know. It said the lawsuit reads, Mr. Hanley asked whether Mr. Johnson had ever had sex with a black woman. He said, taken aback, Mr. Johnson said nothing. He said, Mr. Hanley followed up, because that would be nasty. That is like having sex with a dog. Okay, this is what Zaddy is saying about black women. Despite his alleged bigotry, Hanley rose in ranks with the sheriff's office and became a trusted voice in the personnel decisions. I'm not surprised by that either. As a member of what the lawsuit called the Old Boys Club, it said he was promoted to a patrol sergeant position more superior than Johnson. As his superior, Johnson was subjugated to having 7 of his job performance reviews done by Hanley, a man who once drove by his house and shouted profanity and the N-word at Johnson while he, his wife, and children was leaving out of their home. In his review, Hanley allegedly lied and accused Johnson of engaging in forms of misconduct during the years. The document says that Hanley unleashed pent-up racism and several other sham disciplinary actions against Johnson designed to force his resignation. Now, the sergeant was successful. Now, despite Johnson's lawsuit alleging that the claims were utterly substantiated, the then sheriff, Dave O'Malley, took Hanley's side. Of course he did. And enacted disciplinary action on Johnson, a deputy who had served his office from 2007 to 2017. He told him that he could either accept a suspension, accept a demotion to patrol deputy, or leave the sheriff's office. Johnson eventually left the job at August 2nd, 2017, the lawsuit says, adding that staying with the department would have meant enduring more racism, more bigotry, and more discrimination, none of which was tolerable. Okay? This is not in 1965 or 40s, folks. This is in the 2000s. They said the lawsuit noted examples of Hanley's racist behavior extended past his engagement with Johnson, but to other black people, regardless of age, that he encountered while on duty. It detailed another inappropriate example of bigotry. It said Mr. Johnson once stopped several black people in the vehicle. He arrived at the stop, asked the supervisor officer to ask, what did these N-words do? Comments like these are routine. I mean, see, this is what they're dealing with today. And we know they got a bunch of white supremacists on the police department. They say it's everywhere. It's not just that one particular police department or sheriff's office. It's everywhere. So it said the lawsuit states that Hanley repeatedly used racial slurs like the N-word or jigaboo. It said to describe black people. It's the allegation present in the claim. It happened 3 years before Applehans became the sheriff in late 2020. It said history-making sheriff said that he did not know about Hanley's background until he took office. It said since then, it said notwithstanding the investigation about racial bigotry in office, he has implemented systems of change in which how things are done on his watch. It said 2021, he moved internal investigations out of his office and secured it in the county human resources office. As the executive in his office, he personally signs off on all hires, promotions, and dismissals, and he also fired the white supremacists. That was the new brother sheriff done. He said, it's just disappointing to learn how long he had been, going on prior to my arrival. Now, Applehans, which is the brother, stated about the discoveries in his chain, said, I always continue to make sure that our department is not only welcoming to those who want to work in our department, but welcoming to those in our community as well. Now, the lawsuit also quotes the findings of the investigation got Hanley terminated as a saying that the vile and unforgivable racism carried out by Mr. Hanley that ultimately forced Mr. Johnson out of his dream job. They said Johnson is seeking unspecified damages, which he's going to win, including loss of wages and benefits, emotional distress, and punitive damages with the lawsuit. So Hanley has 60 days from January 18th to file a reply to the lawsuit. Hanley is the only entity named in the lawsuit. Now, I told y'all this, and I've said this many times before. If you want police brutality to go away and racism to go away in the police departments of America, black people should be the majority of the police. Black people should run all the police departments, sheriff departments, and everything. I promise you, you would not have racism would be gone tomorrow. Police brutality would be gone too. It would rarely happen. Okay. And I told y'all, as long as these people are in control, that comes along with them. It's in the culture. White supremacy is their culture. That's why it's everywhere, because it's in the culture to be that way. Now, would I say all of that way? No. I'm not saying all, but too many is that way, and it's been that way with them for hundreds upon hundreds of years. When somebody do something for hundreds upon hundreds of years, it's a culture at that point. It's not just racism like a one-off. It's culture. And they know that it's in their culture. And we've seen, listen, when the brother became sheriff, look how quick things start happening. Look how he got the white supremacists out of there. He's trying to make things equal and fair for everybody. That's what would happen if brothers and sisters took over law enforcement in America. Brothers and sisters, they took over the military, completely. If they took over the banking, if they took over all, the government, this country would actually be good, because black Americans would do the right thing. Because it's just in us to do that. But as long as they run it, that's why this country is a cesspool, because they running it. But leave me a comment, let us think about the situation with this particular story. Like I said, none of this, out of all the 10 years I've been doing news reports, none of this has changed at all. It's the same old day in and day out with these white supremacists. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the African Diaspora News Channel app in the Google Play and Apple App Store.
Living in America as a black person, you recognize there is one set of laws for you and one set of laws for those, especially in the white community. In our book, Passive Aggressive Racism in the System of White Supremacy, I take you through times in my life when I first started noticing white supremacy. We teach you how to recognize it, identify it, and also counter it in our book. This book is a beginner's course for those that are just starting to wake up and open their eyes to see the system of white supremacy. As a black American person, you must understand this system because this system is life or death to you. How you handle it, how you deal with it, it can affect your mental health if you don't understand this system. Pick up our book, Passive Aggressive Racism and the System of White Supremacy, today on Amazon.